Welcome everyone to Alzheimer Speaks Radio. I'm Lori LeBay, the host and founder of Alzheimer Speaks. For those of you that don't know me, I started Alzheimer Speaks because my mother was on a journey with dementia for 30 years. And I just really felt like our system was broken and we needed some other opportunities to hear other voices and connect to other resources that I knew had to be out there, but I just didn't know where the heck they were. And so Alzheimer's Speaks, for those of you that are new to us, is an advocacy-based company providing multiple platforms to try to shift our dementia care from crisis to comfort around the world. We're also known as a media platform to many, just again, because of our connective modes and raising voice. We truly believe that by joining forces and sharing knowledge and having these everyday conversations like we do on Alzheimer Speaks Radio is one of the ways we're going to be able to break down the barriers and the stigmas that exist and empower people to continue to live purpose-filled lives and connect them to products and services and tools that they can use every single day. At our core, we also believe that collaboration is the only way we're going to win this battle. And I know that that's working thanks to each and every one of you. You see, your likes, your clicks, your shares has spread the content that we push out. And you are doing great work by helping share that information. Because we all know the more we see something, the more normal it becomes and the easier it is to grab a hold of when we're ready. And we can't force anybody to grab information until they're ready. And so, again, I thank you. We have been lucky enough to be recognized by Dr. Oz as the #1 influencer online for Alzheimer's, by Maria Shriver as an architect of change, and just recently now by Oprah as a health hero for 2018. And I share those accolades with you because we surely did not do that alone. And so that is the power behind all of us sharing information and working collaboratively together. I also want to invite you to be a guest. So we talk to everybody. If you're living with dementia, if you're caring for a loved one or a friend with dementia, if you're a business professional, maybe you're an author, a singer, a writer, it makes no difference, a researcher. We believe everyone's voice has a place here on Alzheimer's Speaks. The only thing we ask is that we have a respectful conversation, and it's okay to disagree if it comes to that. So thank you so much for being part of the show, and I can't wait to introduce our guest. And so we are thrilled to have with us today one of the most renowned people in the dementia sphere, and that is Norms McNamara over at the UK. And Norms, I'm going to have you go ahead and introduce yourself to our audience, if you don't mind, and we will go from there.
Well, hello, my name's Norms McNamara, and I'm the founder of the Global Purple Angel Dementia Campaign. 4 years ago, we created the Purple Angel Campaign because there was a lack of knowledge, as everybody quite rightly recognises. Within those 4 years now, I can sit here and say that we're now registered and recognised in over 56 countries around the world. And we have over 800 Purple Angel Dementia ambassadors, which just proves that by working together collaboratively and by explaining and sharing information, we can reach parts of the world that we thought we never could before.
That's absolutely amazing. I remember, Norms, when you started the Purple Angel, there were a lot of naysayers. This isn't going to go anywhere. It's not possible. And you have blown that out of the water. And I think the reason that you have in the way that you have is because you haven't excluded anyone from really being part. Anyone who has a sincere desire to really work with this group and push it forward. And it has been amazing. It shows to me how much people want to work together if they're just given the opportunity. And you've done it in a way that doesn't cost money. People can participate in whatever level that they want to, from just putting the symbol maybe on their checks, to really going out and doing door knocking and raising awareness. And I think that is wonderful. You you haven't set any specific overwhelming rules or criteria to follow. Everything is just common sense and says a little knowledge is better than none, and if you want more than that, we'll help you get there too.
Yeah.
You know, and allowing people to be creative, which has been really fun to watch. So kudos to you in terms of your movement and the impact it's had on the world. Absolutely unbelievable.
Thank you, Laurie. Yeah, I still pinch myself every morning when I wake up, and I'm getting a message from like Australia or Finland or Iceland and America and Canada, and I think, wow, you know, I would never in my wildest dreams have thought this could have reached so far and touched so many people. But as you say, I think it's because we believe in keeping it just good old-fashioned common sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of people live by that rule and still live by that rule. So that's what we do. And also the cost. It doesn't have to cost it doesn't have to cost anything to raise awareness with the internet platforms we have these days. You know, we can talk to each other, we can advertise what we do, we can share information, we can share ideas. I mean, I have a vivid memory when we first got together all those years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with the memory cafe, and I'm still so proud that we did that. And since then, the memory cafes in America have grown and grown and grown.
Over 450 now.
Absolutely incredible. And you opened the very first. It's just unbelievable. So, but by working together and saying, listen, you know, just help each other, just share things with each other. You know, we will never get anywhere if we keep it all to ourselves.
Yeah.
We've got to share this information. And by sharing it, you're helping people.
Exactly. Well, and none of us can serve everybody anyways, you know, and this feeling of a need of trying to have to outdo one another instead of working together to improve the situation. And I mean, you guys were so kind in terms of just opening up everything and saying, here it is, build them, they'll come, you know.
Yeah.
And over here in the U.S., you know, we don't have funds. And so it's a strictly all volunteer based. Government's not involved, which in some ways is good, I guess. But it's opened the door to creativity in terms of really meeting the people's needs. And I have a call later this afternoon mentoring somebody who wants to start one. And, you know, everybody thinks that there's going to be this bed in a bag with all the criteria of if I do A to B to C to D, to, you know, it's just going to, poof, it's going to happen. And it doesn't work that way. You know, it's what you do is really about, you've gotten people to understand that you use the resources you have, and you'll be surprised at where that will get you. And that you pull in the people with passion, not necessarily the people with titles, not necessarily organizations that have always been known to have a hold in this area, but just get passionate people wherever they lay and pull them together, and magic happens.
It does. I only spoke about that this morning, and we coined a phrase to say something like, this organisation or this group that we run worldwide now it's been built by the people for the people.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know, they've done it themselves. They've gone out, they've created. We're just like you said, the mentors. Mm-hmm. And funnily enough, one of my favourite films comes from your side of the pond, where I think it was Kevin Costner who said, if you build it, they will come. And this is exactly what's happened. It was like a field of dreams. It was just a dream all those years ago, but to look back now, I still have to pinch myself, I must admit.
Well, it gets back to the mode of letting people have the responsibility and the authority, and trusting that they will do good instead of evil. And, you know, your group just self-monitors, and every once in a while there might be a bad egg, and you pluck it out of the basket, and you move forward, and you don't really talk about it anymore. It's just, we're moving on.
Yeah,
you know, and I think that's a huge difference anyways, especially here in America, because people always seem to think the worst. You know, we're kind of sue happy over here, and people are worried about failure, And, you know, I think you and I both look at failure as great progress. You
Yeah.
know, we're one step closer to figuring out what is going to work.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
you don't beat yourself up. You're glad you tried, and now it's time to try something else. And you're fluid in terms of your delivery, so that you're always open to meeting the new needs, because the needs are going to change
Of course.
with each group. And so I have to let the group know, and I'd like you to actually tell people, because some people might not know, Norms, that you're actually living with dementia.
Yeah, I was diagnosed with nearly 10 years now. I was diagnosed at age 50, and I'm now 60. So I suppose technically you could say 10 years, but it was later when I was 50 when I was diagnosed. But I was diagnosed, nearly 10 years ago now. And I get asked so many times, you know, why is it you're so well? Why is it you're still doing well? And the simple answer is I don't know. But I do believe that keeping busy like this, having so much on my plate, does help. Does help, because it's keeping my mind active. I've been a great lover of music, and it's been proved scientifically that music lights up more parts of the brain than any other activity. So I involve music in my daily activity every day for at least 2 or 3 hours. If it's only by listening to the radio, or listening to a CD, or putting the music on while I'm on the internet. You know, there's a lot of reasons I could say why might have helped me. But medically, I don't know. And then obviously we get the people who say, well, you know, how come you've managed to last so long and other people haven't? Again, I don't know. But I will never apologise for doing well.
Well,
Morally, I couldn't apologise and say, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm doing well. Because I'm sure my family would have something to say about that.
Well, in like here, people will look at you and go, wow, he really does great. But you really struggle at nighttime and sleep. And, you know, if you haven't read any of Norm's writings, you need to, because they are so powerful and so descriptive. And others living with this disease just say, oh, bingo, that's it. That's exactly how I'm feeling. This is what I'm experiencing. You know, I still, when I go out and speak, a lot of times we'll use your story when you talk about going into the store and the carpet you perceived coming up as snakes, you know, with your perception changing and things. And people are just shocked at that. And it's like, this happens way more than we think.
Well, in the book that I wrote, The Lewy Body Soldier, that's on Amazon, I explain all this. And I also explain that my night times are horrendous. How my wife Elaine even gets any sleep or functions, I have no idea. But the way that she always says is she's got so used to it now. She's used to living off 4 or 5 hours sleep. The body just adjusts, and that's what she says. But at the night times, people get mixed up with night terrors and hallucinations. Nightmares and night terrors are nothing like hallucinations. Hallucinations are, I am actually eyes wide open, seeing things in my life, in my time. They're actually happening, but to nobody else, because they can't see what I can see. The night terrors is when I'm having horrific nightmares, and I'm screaming and shouting and thrashing about in bed, which is also can be quite dangerous for, you know, for close family. But we've managed it so far. So yeah, even though I may come across as well as this during the day, Elaine always turns around. If you come to our house at 9 o'clock at night, you'll see a different person.
Well, now today you were really excited about getting together, and I'm very excited as well, because you want to talk about a new game for dementia called Let's Talk Dementia. So I can't wait to learn more about this. So why don't you tell us about that?
Well, it was a friend of mine in the UK. This is not a Purple Angel product. This is a friend of mine who lives in what they call the Forest of Dean in Gloucestershire that created this. And I hope you can see it.
Yep.
And it's called Let's Talk Dementia. And what this is done, I'll just turn it over. And what this is done is a board game of how to help people talk about dementia. And its simplicity in itself, excuse me 1 minute. It's simplicity in itself, but there are all different cards. So if you can see this line, it says communication.
Mm-hmm.
This one says myth, true or false, which
Okay.
is always a good question, because some of the questions are memory is always the first ability to be affected by dementia. True or false?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question. It cut out on me.
The question says memory is always the first ability to be affected by dementia.
False.
True or false?
False.
It's false. It depends on the type of dementia and the individual.
Yep.
Now, that's the type of question we have. So all you do is roll a dice.
Mm-hmm.
You have the board itself. We're so excited. This lady who invented this, you can inquire about it through my website.
Uh-huh.
The lady who invented this has had thousands and thousands of inquiries. As you can see, it's just a board, right?
Yep.
So as you would in Monopoly, you
One
just
of my
roll a
favorite
dice.
games.
Yeah. You just roll a dice, and when it comes onto the square, you'll ask a question about the communication, myth, or a couple of other questions. One of them is help. The science is another question, and help.
Okay. Wonderful.
So whatever you land on, that question will come. If you get it right, you go around the board as you would in Monopoly until you get to the end, and the first one who gets to the end wins.
Okay.
The thing is, while you're having fun doing this, unknown to yourself and subconsciously, you're learning all the time.
What a great game to play, especially when you're first diagnosed. You know, if you're diagnosed in your earlier stages and stuff, to be able to learn together. You know,
exactly. And for carers who are just going into the game, just going into caring, and for nursing, it's just going into nursing with dementia, because it's actually designed for carers, but it's also used by people who've just been diagnosed.
Yep.
So it's a multifunctional game.
Yep.
You can ask, if you need to know anything about it, please contact me through my website, which I'm sure you loyal tell everybody where it is after.
Oh, for sure. And I'm going to want to add that to my website for, like, I have certain tools and stuff and props that people can use for memory cafes. They go there a lot. This would be a great one for them.
It's being used now up and down the UK, and the lady who invented it, along with a steering group, it's just a bunch of people just like ourselves, again, who wanted to make that difference. You know, and I think this is one of dementia's best kept secrets until now.
Well, and I'll have to go to your site, because I haven't gone there to see this specifically, because I always like to just have a real conversation and then follow up.
This is not actually on the site as yet.
Okay.
We haven't uploaded it as yet, but what I was saying, if anybody wants to inquire about it, please email me.
Okay.
And we can send all the information.
Okay, because what I'd like to do is even get a picture of it, and then, because I can add that as a slide when I'm out talking to let people know about it too.
Yeah, of course, I'll sort all that for you.
Yeah, that would be wonderful to have.
Yeah, we're really excited about this.
Yeah, very cool. Well, I have something to share with you too that might be of interest. I'm working with a group right now that they actually were a lot of professional athletes, and they have put together an app to measure brain function, and it's for everybody. But a friend of mine used it, and he says he uses it every morning because he can tell if he's going to have a good or a bad day. But it helps us analyze the different parts of the brain, and it's all through video games. It's an app. And if you go to my website, alzheimersspeaks.com, on the homepage, I have it there, and you can, instead of 15 days free, I think you get 30 days free, and then it's a fairly minor fee to be able to track, because it'll actually track how you're doing, what your scores are.
Right. Exciting.
And so it's something that people can share with their doctors or not, which will probably educate some doctors out there, you know. But it's a way to be able to self-monitor, and it's a way to look at, like, if your score's low. They shared a story. I did a interview with them on the radio show, And they shared a story of they do like a school challenge, and one of the kids' score came back really low, and the teacher kind of pulled him aside and said, "Hey, what's going on? This isn't like you." Well, here, his family was really struggling financially, and in 2 days they were going to turn off their electricity, and he was scared to death. So the teacher then intervened, got a hold of the family, got him on some kind of supplemental program, and then
Wow.
his scores went right back up.
Yeah.
But it just shows how stress can affect us, or lack of sleep can affect us, what we're eating or drinking, those types of things, on top of disease-related type things. But it's just a way for people, if they're diagnosed or not, to just be more aware of really the number one organ you need to survive, in your body, and we don't really pay that much attention to it. And it's a fun, easy way to do it, but it's called Roberto. And they also are starting to bring this into businesses now, so that companies can analyze team function and how they're working together, which is kind of cool. And then into the schools. And again, they started it initially because of the concussions.
I'll take a look. I'll take a look. Yeah, that sounds wonderful.
So there's lots of cool stuff happening out there, and that's one of the things I love talking with you about. And so I'd be amiss if we don't talk about RAD. So tell people what the heck RAD is.
Well, RAD stands for World Rocks Against Dementia. Rock Against Dementia actually started in America. Wayne Mesker began with that. And I came across it on the internet. And I wanted to take it one step further because of the contacts that the Purple Angel has around the world. And I thought, what a wonderful concept of RAD is. Why can't we put the W in front of it and call it World Rocks Against Dementia and get as many countries involved as possible? Thankfully, Wayne said yes, so we've worked collaboratively together ever since. And this year is our 3rd year, and on the weekend between March the 23rd and March 25th, we'll be holding our 3rd RAD, or World Rocks Against Dementia, and it's our biggest yet. Because once again, we've not had the TV coverage, we've not had national coverage, we've not had big celebrities talking about it or being televised about it. Again, this is by the people, for the people. And even though we've not had that coverage, events are now happening in 17, maybe 18 countries around the world. It's spanned over 5 continents. It will affect thousands, if not millions of people will be joining in, or they will know about RAD about that weekend. Nobody has ever done anything as big as this. And this is our 3rd year, and we're growing. Every year people want to know what we're doing. And again, we've kept it simple, Laurie. It doesn't matter if you have a coffee morning with 3 of you, and you play a bit of music, or you go to MacArthur Park and you have all the bands in the world. It doesn't matter if you have the Rolling Stones or you have a local band. It really doesn't matter, as long as people come together within them days and remember those we've lost, remember those who have dementia, and remember those who are going to get diagnosed with dementia. Just for those few minutes or an hour, that's all that matters. Again, it's not about cost. Volunteers, yes, if you're holding a big event, but we're holding small events. We held the first one over here. It was a huge event. We had thousands of people, and we had 12 choirs, and it was an amazing event. But this year we're doing it at our own little memory cafe, because people are doing exactly the same all over the world. So it's not about the big event, but it's about the big picture, and it's about people coming together to celebrate people who are living with dementia. Remembering those who we've lost. So once again, on that weekend, if anybody, and we've still got over a month to go, if anybody would like to hold a coffee morning or a small musical event, or if they will even go busking and put a sign of the Purple Angel, it doesn't matter. As long as somebody's doing something for that day, let us know, and we'll put you on our world map, and we'll give you a mention and tell everybody else in the world the good work that you're doing.
Now, what are the dates again? March
the 23rd to the 25th.
Okay.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's the weekend of the 23rd of March this year.
Okay. But you know, it would be fun. I'm just thinking about some of the subways we have over here, and we have musicians playing. It'd be just cool if we could get one of those guys even just to have a sign up for dementia awareness and donate the funds. And I'm not in an area that has that, like New York and things like that, but that would just be so cool, you know, to
If we could get that video, yeah, and because we're going to get all the videos together and all the posters together and all the videos that people send from India, Pakistan, Australia, America, Canada, we're going to put them all together. And if we could get that a video of somebody doing that, that would be wonderful.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
Well, and you've got Glenn Campbell's daughter involved this year. Is that correct?
Yeah, we have. Debbie Campbell, I'm in touch with her over Facebook and over the internet. And we've dedicated this year's World Rocks Against Dementia to the wonderful Glenn Campbell, who sadly passed away because of dementia. And we asked if that was okay by Debbie. And of course, Debbie said, yes, of course it is. And the Campbell family are very honoured that we're doing this year's World Rocks Against Dementia in memory of Glenn.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's a wonderful, wonderful addition to it. And we thank them so, so much for doing that.
Well, you are doing fabulous work, and it's always fun to talk to you. I can't thank you enough for what you've given to the world and how much you've changed it. I mean, one of the things we haven't talked about is through the Purple Angel, dementia-friendly communities, you know, have popped up, and
dementia-friendly cities in America. In America, you've got Purple Angel cities.
Yep.
You know, in Knoxville and all around there, there's cities that's becoming dementia-friendly now. It's just incredible.
It's very cool. And, you know, police and fire and hospitals are starting to get trained. Gary LeBlanc with his wristband for the hospitals.
He's doing an incredible job.
Who would have thought that, you know, a concept like that? But again, it's so simple because it opens the door for people to ask, what is it? And then you can have a non-threatening conversation. You know, I think it's sad that sometimes simplicity is shunned as not enough. And to me, it's really the only way to go, because especially in this fast-paced world, if it's not simple, it's probably not going to get done.
I have to say, I had a conversation with a rather big care home facility yesterday about changing things there, and one of the ladies I was speaking to kept saying, but what if? And eventually I said, I think you're overthinking it. Yeah. You know, you don't have to overthink everything. You know, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But at least you've tried. Yeah. That's all that matters, because there's a lot of guys out there that don't do anything. With
this disease, you know, with the numbers of people that it's affecting, not just the person diagnosed, but then there's that ripple effect too.
Of course.
I mean, it is massive. We don't know what causes it. There is no cure. We don't have time to try to get it perfect, because we're not going to, because we don't know what it is, you know, what's causing it. And every person symptoms are just twisted a little bit different than the next guy. And so we need to get out there, and that's one of the things that I personally find so frustrating, is everybody wants it perfect, and perfect isn't in my vocabulary anymore. I throw that out the door and say, you know, perfection is a way to procrastinate. And what we need to do is, even if we work really hard and, you know, it's 2 years down the road and you roll it out the door, you're still going to need to make adjustments. So why do we believe we're not going to make adjustments? That's part of the process of delivering. Of delivering any good service. You need to tweak, you need to still be connected, you still need to be aware. So just roll it out, knowing it's not going to be perfect. Then you're not going to fail. That's something that is difficult for you to deal with, but know you're making progress.
And you've got to, I think you've got to be able to adjust. Yeah. You know, all the time. You've got to make it relevant. And you've got to, as they used to say, keep up with the times. You know, you've got to change to that kind, because our environment all around is changing all the time. So you have to change the way we do things to suit the environment, not the other way around. And I do believe that the smallest change can make the biggest difference. No matter if you do one little thing to help somebody with dementia, or you open a care home facility, the
Mhm.
smallest change will make the biggest difference.
I think it gets back again to that heartfelt connection
Yeah.
of being purposeful, of doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And none of us are ever going to be perfect all the time or do the right thing, and be open to if we need to apologize or if we need to correct and, you know, kind of steer the ship, you know, just keep it on course. It's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
life.
It's common sense.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah, it gets
old-fashioned
back
common
to the
sense.
common sense. Yeah. Isn't that funny? Is there anything else that you want to talk about?
No, not really. I mean, I'd like to finish up just by saying thanks to you guys for everything you do, and also Gary, and not forgetting Harry Urban, and also Robert Bowles. We're thinking about him at this time because I know one of his family's not well. So I'd like to, you know, send all my love to Robert and his family, and I'd like to send my love to all you guys over there in the States. It's only a little pond between us, so who knows? Maybe one day I'll get my swimming trunks on and I'll be over there.
Wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't that be fun? In wrapping up here on Alzheimer's Speaks Radio, again, I want to thank Norms McNamara for his time, for his passion, for his vision to really change our dementia care culture and connect people all around the world. It's phenomenal not only to be a part of, but to watch the creativity and the energy that he has inspired. And it's just absolutely incredible. So kudos to you, Norms. I also want to just let people know, a lot of times people ask, you know, where am I going to be? I am going to be out in Indiana, in Chesterton, Indiana, March 6th through the 9th, and then I'll be down in Melbourne, Florida, March 15th through the 19th, and then the 26th through the 28th of March, I'm going to be out in Washington for their Northwest Rural Health Conference, which I'm really excited for because I know our rural areas are really lacking compared to our metropolitan areas for services. So I'm very excited about that. I also want to just do some shout outs to some companies that I just adore. The Alzheimer's Research and Prevention Foundation, who takes a holistic approach to prevention and education. You can find them at alzheimersprevention.org. The Call Alert Center, which is a wonderful organization. If you have someone who wanders or if you're worried about somebody who might wander, they have a very economical platform where you can set up really your flyer ahead of time. So you've got the picture, the height, the weight, the color of the eyes, all of that stuff. You don't have to scramble for, they drive a car, the license plate, and then they blast that out through the phone system and set up a flyer for you to use via social media so that you can really get that out there, and they work with the police. And it's under like $15 a year. You can also cover pets. You can cover your college students, adults that travel, and it changes languages, which is really cool as well. And then there is the Women's Alzheimer's Movement, known as WAM, which is Maria Shriver's baby. And she is going to be doing again this year the Move for Minds event, which is a health and wellness kind of exhibition, and they do some exercise. They have a panel, and then they have some vendors, and we'll get more information on that shortly. And then two more things I need to relate is just, if you're looking for a cafe here in the U.S., go to memorycafedirectory.com. That's memorycafedirectory.com. Calendar cards supports that, and they've just made it really easy to find. And we're up to like 450 of them now in the U.S., which is just absolutely incredible. And then the American Senior Magazine is just a wonderful magazine. You can use it for reminiscing. It's got great photography, great articles. They actually have some activities communities and groups can use, or individuals as well, just to keep the mind active. And it's nice large print, so I don't even have to wear my glasses to read it, which I love. So again, thank you all for participating today. And again, we hope that that you share this great information of Norms with your spheres. Let's get the Let's Talk Dementia game out there in the world. Again, it's not too late to participate in World Rocks Against Dementia. If you're interested in being a Purple Angel, you can go to Norms. Why don't you go ahead and state your website, and then I can point them to ours here in the U.S. as well.
Yeah, the website for Global Purple Angel is globalpurpleangel-.com, I think. But if you put in Global Purple Angels, it will come up.
Okay, great. And for the Purple Angel here in the U.S., you can go to alzheimersspeaks.com and just go to our projects and initiatives page, and then there'll be a little tab that says Purple Angel there, and we will get you the information you need. Again, thanks so much for your time. It's always just a joy to speak to you. I just honor you, and you truly are my mentor. So thank you, Norms, for all you do.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Have a great day.
And you.